Okay, this is just going to be a really short snippet here. I was reading in the Nag Hammadi Library, the Book of Thomas, Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas. There is a section in here. I will read what it says, and then I will give my interpretation. Before I read this, the Gospel of Thomas seems to be a bunch of quotes spoken by Jesus during his ministry. And this one reads, Jesus said, "Whoever does not hate his father and his mother cannot become a disciple to me. And whoever does not hate his brother and sisters and take up his cross in my way will not be worthy of me." Okay, so I read that, and that's kind of challenging language. So I took a moment and I was like, well, if Jesus truly said this, what did he mean by it? And the interpretation I got was that if we are not willing to see the hate within our own humanness, how we hate, how we persecute, how we crucify, if we are not willing to see the way we are capable of hating those closest to us and otherwise, we cannot be a disciple of Christ. So I thought, okay, now I'm going to look at other interpretations. And other interpretations read very differently than mine. But I'm going to read on now, having said that. This same idea is cited in the book of Matthew. I think the book of Matthew, and at least one other of the New Testament Gospels I found. And the interpretation, it is very similar as to what I read here, but the interpretations given by other sources is very different than the way I am translating that or the meaning. And of course, you will have your own. I'm going to read on just to help clarify. This is so I continued in my reading to see if maybe there was more that would help me understand. And it goes on to say, Jesus said, "Whoever has come to understand the world has found only is in parentheses, whoever has come to understand the world has found a corpse. And whoever has found a corpse is superior to the world." Okay. And that again is to say that here we'll go on. This makes sense with what others have translated or how they have deciphered the message in this. So this says to me, whoever has come to understand the world has found a corpse. So everything here is, the world is focused on death, or not really what it is to live, not really what life truly is in its essence. And so it says, whoever understands the world has found a corpse and is superior to the world. So once you see the aspects in the world that are leaning towards the focus being on death, demise, destruction, the what we would say the shadow side of polarity, right? Once you can see it as that, then you're superior to the world because you see it, you have already seen it. So the illusion has been, the curtain has been drawn back and you can see beyond the curtain now, okay? Reading on here, it says, Jesus said, "The kingdom of the Father is like a man who had good seed." Good is again in parentheses. So it says, like a man who had seed. His enemy came by night and sowed seeds among the good seed. The man did not allow them to pull up the weeds. He said to them, I am afraid that you will go intending to pull up the weeds and pull up the wheat along with them. For on the day of the harvest, the weeds will be plainly visible, and they will be pulled up and burned. Okay. So when I read that, I understand where this other interpretation is coming from. Others that have interpreted this text about the hating the father and the mother. Others have interpreted it as if you are not willing to walk away from all of that, then you can't be a disciple of Christ. And I understand that. Hate is a very strong word, but I understand that. And that is true. If we are not willing to let go of or give up our identity as the human self in every aspect, we can't truly come to know Christ, the Christ within us, because, we've been trained into this other way of being and identifying. Having said that, I continue on with my interpretation of this text to say that you need to be able to look at, so again, the thoughts in our minds, the beliefs, and where we sow hatred in the world. So if I'm not willing to see how I hate, if I'm not willing to see it, I'm not weeding out all of my attachment to the world because I'm not seeing clearly how I'm contributing to it, how I'm contributing to that hatred in the world. Okay? So the way I'm reading this is Jesus saying, speaking as Christ saying, if you don't realize how you hate your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, how can you be Christ on earth? Because you must see the illusion, you must see your training in order to be able to step away from it. And so again, with the sowing the seeds and, I'm afraid that if you weed these out, you'll take it all. And then this is another way of saying you must be willing to see it all and to discard it all of the ways. You can't be afraid of losing anything. You can't be afraid of losing something that you think benefits you. Because, again, thinking that this benefits you or that anything of the world benefits you will keep you from actualizing your Christ here on earth. So, not saying my interpretation is right and anyone else's is wrong. I can see where their interpretation is coming from and how it has importance. But for me, because the word hate was used, and it even is used in the New Testament, hate is the word that is used in there. That is such a strong word that to me, it went beyond, like, hate. This is to me more intense than just being able to turn away and walk away from, even though that is part of it. So that is true, because that's kind of what it's boiling down to in the later areas here with the seeds. Know how it is that you hate. Know how it is that you perpetuate hate here. Know how it is, how you contribute to the things of the world, so that you can remove that from your training, remove that from your identity, and accept the truth that is, you are Christ. Be Christ. Okay. It goes on to say, Jesus said, "Blessed is the man who has suffered and found life." Okay. So who has suffered. You know, again, this is really stating, blessed is he who has, what is the hardest thing to do here? I think more than walking away from others, or, you know, is to see within ourselves how we have contributed to the situation. Knowing that we are co-creating here. How have I perpetuated this condition, this reality? What have I done to encourage this to take place? Accepting that I am a participant. I must be a participant because I'm aware of it. I couldn't be aware of it if I wasn't a participant in it. So this is just my interpretation on this text. I will do my best to post this in a way that will actually explain what this is about. And peace and love may be blessed.